episode 15 of Ask Daphne. I'm Daphne. This week's question comes from Danielle. And Danielle asks, how do I make time for my business while working a full time 9 to 5 and a part time job? You guys already know what I'm going to say. I absolutely love mindset questions. This one is no different. I think because this is my zone of genius as I'm working with my coaching clients who are full time employees who are considering or either just wanting to grow a business while they keep their 9 to 5s. So I've conquered this thing and I love to talk about it. I love sharing tips on how to do it. So, Danielle, I will start as I always do with a mindset. But this week, I think I want to do a mindset quote. And that is simply anything that we really want to accomplish, we'll find the time to do it. So I want you to ask yourself, what time are you either wasting or missing in your current schedule working a full time 9 to 5 and a part time job that you could be using to start your business? I think that I want to start with sharing my story. My story is probably no different than other people's story, but sometimes there are keys to what we do differently than other people that may motivate or inspire you to do a little bit better along your journey of becoming an entrepreneur. So here's my story. I started as a full-time employee and I was an emergency preparedness planner. And that basically meant that I worked a full-time job that had me on call 24/7. So I like to say that I worked a 24/7 job. On top of that, I strategically chose a part-time job because I was preparing to buy my first home that would allow me to purchase everything inside that home and move into that home with no debt other than the mortgage. So I was working a full-time job, let's just say on call 24/7. And I had a part time job where I worked 2 to 3 days a week. Now, on top of that, I knew that I wanted to start my own business consulting, but I also had a passion for mentoring youth. And so I was a full time ministry leader where I mentored about 50 plus young kids. So, full time job, part time job, mentoring where I did 3 days a week with those kids. And so, if you can imagine, I'm at my job every day, I'm at a part time job a few days of the week, and then the rest of those days, I'm mentoring kids. I still had time to have a very healthy social life. I biked, I hiked, I ran marathons, I traveled. I did it, most people can do it. But on top of that, Danielle, I decided that to be the best that I could be at my consulting business, as well as starting my nonprofit, that I wanted to earn a couple of higher level degrees. And so I enrolled in school and I began earning 2 master's degrees, one for my nonprofit and one for my consulting business. I had to set goals. I had to prioritize every over this span of time. I knew that my social life would be limited. I knew that everything that I was working on had to be intentional and it had to have results. So I couldn't decide that I wanted to skip reading to catch a movie because where would I then fit in the time that I was either going to study or read or plan for the ministry or, work on that part-time job. So I was very strategic in everything that I did. I did not waste any time for 2 to 3 years. And literally, like those became habits of mine. And so that's what got me through that span of my life. I say to you, Danielle, take a very good look at how you're spending your time. A lot of times we are spending time and we don't recognize where we're wasting it. So for the next 2 weeks or even longer, I want you to just every 2 to 3 hours write down how you've spent your time and be honest with yourself. If you've spent an hour in the morning once you wake up to go on social media, write it down. If you've spent an hour, your lunch hour chatting with your friends, write it down. Do that for 2 weeks. And then I want you to go back and just look at that time. Everywhere that you feel like you've wasted time, I want you to highlight it. And once you highlight, I want you to begin scheduling activities that help you either grow or start your business in each of those highlighted areas. Now, those highlighted areas mean that that's free time because you've wasted those times with activities. Second, Danielle, I want you to figure out your most productive time of the day. For some people, they're morning people. And so they would prefer getting up really early because or they're night owls, and so they do better in the evenings. Figure out your most productive time of the day, and then I want you to schedule quiet time. No social media, no conversations with friends or family, where you have dedicated minutes is the best amount of time to work on your business. I actually have a coaching program that's Start in 60, where you can start anything in 60 minutes. You can start your business, you can start a blog, you can start and finish a book with just 60 minutes a day. So I want you to begin scheduling 60 minutes in each day, Danielle, and before you know it, you will have so much progress with your business that you'll probably surprise yourself. I hope these tips are helpful. If you have additional ideas on where you find extra time to start or grow your business while working a full-time job and maybe a part-time job, or you have a family of three, four, or five, let me know down in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and comment. See you next week.